As an addiction recovery coach, I work with people whose lives aren't what they want them to be. And there's a strong relationship between the quality of their lives and how active their addiction is. If they're very active in their addiction, the quality of the rest of their lives is going to tank. Every other part of their life is going to be neglected and potentially even destroyed. And if they are neglecting those other parts of their lives they need to be maintaining, that they need to be cultivating and giving care, then they're much more likely to relapse, much more likely to binge, and to spiral out of control. Now, the addict does have a strange advantage, and that advantage is that they are highly incentivized to stick to the path that is best for them and to maintain health in all aspects of their lives because they know how much they stand to lose if they fail to do that. Other people who have never struggled with addiction, they can veg out and decompose for a week, take time off their positive habits and not connect with other people, not exercise, binge on TV or video games, and it's not a big deal. But for an addict, he knows that if he does that, he's much more likely to spiral out of control, and it's not just 1 week of vegging out, it becomes months of binging and relapsing to whatever they're addicted to. And because they know the consequences, they're more highly incentivized to stick to their path, to care for themselves, and to cultivate health in every aspect of their lives and stay on top of their game. For several years now, I've run a support and discussion group for men who are struggling with problematic porn use, trying to recover from pornography addiction and porn-induced sexual dysfunctions, whatever other porn problems have risen up in their lives due to years of chronic pornography use. In those meetings, which is one of the favorite things that I've done as a recovery coach, we meet up to 3 times a week. Most people come once or twice a week, but we have 3 meetings a week. And in those meetings, we take turns checking in, we call it. Each person gets to share whatever is relevant to them in their lives, and we can take whatever form we want in these check-ins. People can talk about whatever's on their mind. It doesn't even have to be porn related because, as I alluded to before, everything in life relates to each other. And if a part of your life that is seemingly not related to your addiction is not going well, it is going to affect your addiction recovery. But there is a structure in place if people choose to use it, and we call that the 6 Ps. And these 6 Ps are 6 different parts of life, 6 different sets of questions that help people understand how they're really doing in life. And when they understand where they might be weak, where they might be not giving enough attention, then they can understand what's holding them back from full recovery and from being sober from porn. And these 6 Ps, these 6 parts of life, they're not only applicable to addicts who are in recovery, they're applicable to anyone and everyone. It's just that the consequences of failing to pay attention to each of these categories is greater for the addict than for the non-addict. The first of the 6 Ps is simply path, and that means the path out of addiction, the path that you've chosen to walk that is porn-free, and whatever other stipulations and boundaries you've decided are important for you. For some men, that means no sexting or no casual sex. For others, it means no masturbation. You get the point. Simply put, path is how are you doing on your journey of recovery from porn? How long is your streak? How many urges have you been facing? Have you been able to overcome them? And so on. And this, as I said before, is so important because it will affect every other part of your life. But of course, it in isolation is very difficult to improve all by itself, because if the rest of your life is not going well, the temptation to use is going to be that much greater, because addiction is a solution to a life that you're unsatisfied with. It's not a long-term solution. It's not a very workable solution. It creates more problems than it solves, but it is a solution that many people come to rely on. They come to use it to escape from the feelings of pain and loss from other parts of their lives, like their relationships not going well. So the next P is physical. How are you doing physically? Are you feeding yourself well? Are you eating food that gives you energy and leaves you feeling good about yourself? Are you exercising in a way that is sustainable and fun and good for you, and your body feels strong and energized? Are you sleeping well? Do you have a consistent sleep schedule? Any other aspects of your physicality, if you're struggling with disease or illness, are you properly treating it? All of this is going to be very important, not only in recovery, of course, but important to a balanced and healthy life. Psychological. Simply put, how are you feeling? How are you feeling recently? What words would you ascribe to your emotional state in the past week? Are you feeling hopeful, excited, optimistic, proud of yourself? Or are you feeling depressed, self-loathing, anxious, stressed out, ashamed? Each of these emotions has its place in life. There's no bad emotion. Emotions all serve a purpose. But if allowed to get out of balance, painful emotions like shame or self-loathing can certainly hold you back and keep you caught in a negative cycle rather than in a positive upward trend of recovery. The next P is people. Your relationships in your life. How are they going? Are you feeling connected to other people? Do you have people you can open up to and be honest and truthful with? Even if you do have people who are surrounding you, who love you, it can feel like you're alone if you're not able to talk to them about what's really on your mind, what's really going on in your life. So even if you do have people in your life, can you open up to them? Can you be honest with them? It doesn't have to be with every one of them. You know, people in my group, some of them have told their families or their friends what they're going through in their porn recovery. Others have not, but they still have people in their lives in this group that we all attend together who they can be completely open and truthful with. And that's very important in recovery. Passion is the next. Do you have things in your life that are fascinating to you? Do you have hobbies that you're interested in? Are you passionate about activities or people or pursuits in your life? Do you have that feeling of excitement about anything in your life? It's important to not just be motivated by the pain that you're moving away from when you're healing from an addiction, but also by optimism and hope and excitement for things that you do want to fill your life up with. If you don't have anything in your life that you're passionate about, that you're excited about, then you're going to be thinking most of the time, or a lot of the time, about your addiction, about past images that are still burned into your brain, about the urge to use, about opportunities that you have coming up to use, and you're going to be fighting those urges rather than just thinking about the things in your life that you're excited by and working on those passions. And finally, purpose. I saved this one for last because I think it is the most important. At least it's the closest to my heart. Without a sense of purpose in your life, you're lacking aim, you're lacking direction, and you can question the meaning of anything that you do. But if you do have a sense of purpose, maybe that's in your career, if you're lucky enough to be working in a career that gives you that sense of purpose, that you're working on something that's meaningful, that matters. You can wake up every single day and look forward to your day because you're working on something that is meaningful to you. But it doesn't have to be in your career. You can just work a job for money and security and find purpose elsewhere in your life. Maybe it's creative projects, maybe it's volunteer work, maybe it's your family. Whatever it is, if you don't have that sense of purpose, you feel lost most of the time. But with that sense of purpose, you can wake up every day and feel optimistic and excited about getting after your purpose and progressing towards that aspiration that you have. And that, my friends, is the final P in the 6 Ps. And if you can cultivate each of these Ps, if you're addicted, it will help you immensely to stay on your path of sobriety. And if you're not, it will just give you an amazing life. Here we are on the Oregon coast. See you in the next one.